Well, I suppose I should say, following on from, part B, this is part C. You're faced with a difficult decision. You don't know which way to go. Look, in the ultimate sense of God's all power and love for us all, it makes no difference which option you choose. He can certainly cope with it and bring you as much benefit and blessing as he's going to do, and that's all there is to it. And you seem in your little way to be making the decision, but actually God's doing it. It's just that he's leaving you in a situation of not knowing so that you can feel free. Because if you don't feel free, you can't come to love, because love is a choice in freedom. And he values love, because that's the security. A person who's obedient may not be obedient when my back's turned, but a person who loves me is going to be thinking of my welfare always. Which do you prefer, obedience or love? Love, of course. Well, how much more God? He does too. He wants your love, and for that you must feel free, as I understand it. I mean, no. Masterful understanding, but I mean, what little understanding I have seems to have got to that anyway. And to be free, you must have a certain measure of ignorance, strangely enough, so that you can simply be what your values are and find out the consequence. So, you are free. You're free even from your point of view. You can take whichever path you like, whichever option opens to you and appeals to you, because he will be there and with you. And if you don't have that assurance, you haven't chosen that trust, well, it makes no difference. Whichever option you choose, the right one or the wrong one, it will still be one that brings you ultimately to him. You could say, yes, but there are shortcuts, aren't there? I don't want to keep returning to this world, and the answer to that is yes. So I'd like to know what he thinks is the best option. Well, the best option is according to his values, but you don't know his values yet. Well, you may know them, it's just that you're not realizing that that set of values is his set. And so you're not tied into choosing that. Because if you were tied in, then you would eventually become resentful and just wonder if you shouldn't have had the freedom to at least find out if your values worked, because that's what you long for in your heart. And this is the opportunity here in this world, as I understand it, to play out your dream, your bucket list. And, you go through all these silly things like, I'd like to see India or Egypt or something, and what with the mosquitoes and the disease and the rather bad diet, you're much happier to come home, and even the trip home was a bit rough. You could have done without that too. And the only difference to you now and before is, you're short in the pocket now, but you do know in your heart, I'm not been there, done that, I'm not doing that again. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. And we turn to him, and he's infinitely resourceful and infinitely loving. Perhaps. And what's the point in believing that he's not? That's a nightmare. So we give him our best. We trust him. Unworthy though we are, miserable sinners. If you want to follow the Christian faith. But if you want to follow Jesus, he's our Heavenly Dad. And he loves us. Bless him. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.